Welcome to an inside look at Nugget 2.0. First, we have the external anatomy. Here are the ear and the earlobe. The earlobe is an area of modified skin, and the color of the earlobe predicts the color of the eggs. The combs and wattles are ornamental, and their appearance depends on the species and sex hormones of a chicken. This chicken has a single comb shape. Feathers are arranged in tracts and composed of keratin. The main function is protection and temperature regulation. The oral cavity is composed of a triangular tongue and no teeth. The brachial vein is found between the biceps brachialis and triceps humoralis. They are usually used for blood collection in the chicken. The uropygial gland, aka the preen gland, is a large bilobed sebaceous gland at the base of the tail. It secretes oil for the chicken to distribute. As for the muscular system, in the breast and wing of the chicken, we have the M superficial pectoral, which is the largest muscle in birds and moves the wing downwards. We have the M supracoracoideus, which elevates the wing, and the M biceps brachii, which is the flexor of the wing. The M triceps brachii is the flexor of the shoulder and allows for the extension of the forearm. The M deltoideus is the flexor of the shoulder also, but rotates the wing outward. As for the leg of a chicken, we have the M iliotibialis, which flexes the hip and extends the knee and lower leg. We also have the M sartorius, which flexes the hip and extends the knee, the M semitendinosus, which extends the thigh closer to the midline, the M semimembranosus, which extends the thigh and flexes the knee, the M quadriceps femoris, which extends the thigh, the M ambiens, the M adductor longus, which adducts and extends the thighs, the M gastrocnemius, which flexes the knee and extends the foot, and the M tibialis anterior, which flexes the metatarsals forward. Now onto the digestive system. The mouth is the opening to the esophagus. Chickens have a beak but no lips or teeth. Their tongues are narrow and triangular and have few taste buds at the back but many touch receptors. The esophagus is a muscular tube running perpendicular and dorsal to the trachea, and the crop temporarily stores food. The proventriculus is a glandular stomach. It secretes HCl, peptic enzymes, and mucus for digestion. The gizzard then has thick muscular walls with a sandpaper-like inner surface. It grinds hard materials into a fine paste. The small intestine is where most absorption of nutrients takes place. It is made of the duodenum, jejunum, and ileum. The duodenum secretes bicarbonate to neutralize pH. The mesentery attaches the small intestine to the dorsal abdominal wall and supports arteries and veins. The pancreas produces insulin and other important enzymes and hormones that help food digestion. The bile ducts enter the duodenum near the pancreas. The ceca contain bacteria for cellulose digestion. Also, this is the place of water reabsorption. The liver is a large four-lobed gland that filters blood from the digestive tract. It also is a site of detoxification and produces bile. The gallbladder stores the bile produced in the liver and discharges it into the duodenum to aid food digestion and lipid breakdown. The large intestine is where the last water absorption occurs, and the cloaca is where waste is ejected. The respiratory system of a chicken is responsible for its breathing and cooling it down. The trachea has cartilaginous rings that prevent it from collapsing due to negative pressure exerted when the chicken breathes, and the glottis is the opening to the trachea. The syrinx is responsible for avian phonation, and the lungs actually have no expansion during respiration. Instead, chickens have air sacs, which are thin-walled extensions from the lungs. They have one pair in the abdominal cavity dorsolateral to the intestines, and two pairs of air sacs in the cranial and caudal thorax, which penetrate into the septum. When they breathe, the air first flows into the posterior air sacs and lungs for gas exchange. Their first exhale then moves the air in the posterior sacs to the lungs, and the existing air flows out through the trachea. On the second inhalation, the air in the lungs enter the anterior air sacs, and on second exhalation, both the air in the anterior sacs and in the lungs flow out through the trachea. As for the circulatory system, chickens have a four-chambered heart enclosed in a pericardial sac that reduces friction from sliding movements due to its heartbeats. The urogenital system of a chicken removes nitrogenous wastes and maintains an osmotic fluid balance. Birds excrete nitrogenous wastes such as uric acid, which is hydrophobic. The kidneys filter blood, remove waste, and regulate body fluids. The ureters connect the kidney to the bladder, and the adrenals are endocrine glands that aid in water and electrolyte balance. As for the reproductive system, Nugget is a female, and in chickens, only the left ovary and oviduct fully develop. Immature ovaries are red and small, and mature ones show large and small yolky follicles. Follicles are labeled as F1, 2, and 3, and there are small yellow follicles that replace white ones. Post-ovulatory follicles remain after ovulation. The stigma is the non-vascular area on the follicle and is the site of follicular rupture during ovulation. The infundibulum is a portion of the oviduct that catches the oocyte after ovulation and directs the egg into the magnum. It is also the place of sperm storage and fertilization. A released follicle then spends 3 hours in the magnum, which is thick-walled and secretes albumin. It then spends 75 minutes in the isthmus, where membranes are added, and up to 20 hours in the uterus, where the shell gland is formed. The tubal gland is a second place for sperm storage, and the egg passes through the vagina and cloaca to get laid. As for the male reproductive system, the vas deferens connects the epididymis into the pelvic cavity and transports mature sperm to the urethra in preparation for ejaculation. The testes produce sperm and produce hormones, particularly testosterone. Sperm is produced in the seminiferous tubules of the testes. Also, here is a picture of the chicken skeletal system.